Would it take the DSA getting more elected officials into local or national? No, it wouldn't, Mike. And I'll tell you why. Because the real socialists are not the Democratic Socialists of America. The real socialists don't even allow their members to join the Democratic Socialists of America. So no, these are not, bro, this is not the DSA. These people are way farther left than the DSA. None of these people are members of the DSA. When I say we watch real radical revolutionary socialists, I do not mean the DSA. These people think the DSA are capitalists. So no, DSA doesn't mean shit in this equation.
We are making it possible in some ways for people to see the category, people who did not see the category before. So there's something to do with the energy of convoking that makes something perceptible and conceivable.
Let's all explain to Mike why these people don't need political power to win and why political power is actually the weakest form of power you can have. Go. I don't want to explain this. I've explained this a million times before. Let's all explain to Mike why it makes no difference whether or not these people have political power, because political power is not how they're winning. Because they have institutional power. Institutional power and political power are not the same thing. Institutional power means they own every major institution, and they don't need to have political power because they have government jobs. They also own the schools. Institutional power is power they can't be voted out of. They will be in power regardless of who wins the next election. Republicans could win every single seat in the next election. They won't. That's not going to happen. But let's just live in the land of fantasy for a second. If Republicans win the House, the Senate, and the presidency in November, the socialists would still be fucking in charge because they don't get their power from from political power. They get their power from institutional power. And it makes no difference who controls Congress or who controls the White House when you have institutional power. They own the institutions. The Long March through the institutions started 70 years ago, and it worked. They do the work. They have academia and they have publishing. They're not just infiltrating through the schools. They own the schools. They own your kids. They own your kids. They can literally take your kids away from you if you don't transition their gender, guys. They own your kids. Political power, it changes all the time. The institutions stay. They have institutional power. They own the schools. They do not care about elections. They take over by getting into positions of power in institutions and putting their own kind in power in places at universities and taking them over. They already have institutional power. Institutional power. Politics are fleeting. Institutions are forever. They can't get fired from their jobs. They also can't get voted out of their jobs. Institutional power, they control education. Do you guys understand? If Democrats are socialists, then why are socialists saying not to vote for Joe Biden? Bro, do you guys realize that these people complain more about the Democrats than they complain about the conservatives? These people hate the Democrats more than you do, bro. These people don't even see conservatives as like a blip on their radar. They complain about the Democrats far more. Lots of correct answers in the chat. Hopefully people are listening tonight. Yep. Thank you, Mike, for asking good questions. We appreciate it. Listen, Mike, if you're relatively new to this, I don't mean to come down harshly on you. I really, really don't. I get fired up when I do these types of streams. You're asking good questions, and this is a lot. It's a lot for everyone to wrap their head around. And believe me, most people in the chat have been there before. Many people in the chat understand exactly what you're feeling right now because when they first started watching it, they were in exactly the same place. So you're good, dude. You're exactly where you should be. You're going to go through a mourning process where you realize exactly how fucked up all things are. and we will be here to support you. We got you, bro. We got you. It's not going to be okay. We're all irrevocably F, but we can support each other through the inevitable Marxist revolution. If socialists made the slow, steady climb through institutions, would they do the same politically? They don't have to. And I appreciate that you're asking a good faith question. So I'm not going to treat you like I treat the moron that we just removed from the chat. If they own the institutions, the politics don't matter. Institutional power is far greater and far more long-lasting than political power. If you own the institutions, it literally does not matter who gets elected to what. So no, they don't have to do the same politically. They will at some point. At some point, they will abolish the Electoral College, and then that's it. That's the ball game. That's why they're trying very hard to abolish the Electoral College. Because once they abolish the Electoral College, it's over, man. It's over. The Electoral College is the only thing. They're also, by the way, going to abolish the Senate. They're also going to abolish the Supreme Court. They are going to abolish all unelected positions that are not, that aren't conducive to them. But they're not going after politics because they don't need to. That's like, you're asking them to, it's like basically what you're asking, bro, is like, someone got into the NBA. They worked their way up through the ranks. They got into the NBA. They're playing for an NBA team. And then you come in and ask, but why aren't you working your way up through the ranks to play college basketball? Well, why would they need to work there? Why would they need to? It's like if someone goes out of high school and goes right into the NBA, and then you come in and ask them, like, why aren't you trying to play college basketball? You got into the NBA. Playing college basketball should be easy. You got into the NBA because they don't need to. Like, what they have is already far better than what college basketball is. They're making more money than they would in college basketball. They have more power, they have more fame than they ever would in college basketball. So why on earth would they go back and try to do college basketball? Because they're in the NBA. It's the same thing.